Hyrule Castletown, a very bustling little market town with a lot of mysterious people, an ineffectual police force, also known as a police force, and a strong liberal arts community. But what's really going on underneath the surface of this town? How is the local economy doing? Well, that's what we are about to find out in this unemployment report for Castletown. Before we begin, I just quickly want to thank Patreon supporter and egg controller, The Legend of Midna. This was a Patreon egg controller request, this video. You too can request a video by subscribing to me at the egg controller tier on Patreon, but at the moment it's very expensive because the list is really long, so I made it expensive so people would stop, so I can catch up. Now, the thing that's going to make this very complicated, of course, is that 80% of the people in Castletown are not people you can talk to, they're not people you can interact with, and they also don't really even exist. They just sort of wander around. Is this an adult or is this a child? The world may never know. And most likely we'll just have to make some sort of big generalization and do some, I don't know, statistical analysis like we did when we did Val de Lobos in Resident Evil 4, only with fewer decapitations. What we're gonna do to start is just talk to all the people we can talk to. So let's start over here, shall we? First up, we got this gentleman here. Hello, sir. If you would, for the sake of peace in Hyrule, would you make a donation? What kind of scam is that? So the question we got to answer here is peace in Hyrule like a non-profit? Or is peace in Hyrule his pockets? This is unemployed behavior, my friend. I'm sorry. All right, who else we got? These people, I can speak to them. The Zora child. I heard the doctor gave up. Okay. We're just gossiping out here. That's what we're doing. One of them's carrying milk. The other one seems to be carrying bread. And kind of like a lot of the folks around here, they mostly just seem to be shopping. So these two folks are probably like aristocrats who live in Castletown and buy stuff from the market, right? That's most likely what's going on here. We've always struggled on how to categorize rich people who don't have a job but don't need a job, you know? Somebody recently made the argument about them that because they are spending a lot of money, because they're capable of spending, they are sort of participating and circulating the money through the economy. And again, I'm no capitalist, but I live in a capitalist society, so I think that that's a pretty salient point. So I'm going to say these two people are not applicable, but they're not unemployed. I know it's a hot topic for everybody to argue about, and I know I change my mind every goddamn day, but I think that's reasonable. I'm getting crust punk energy from this guy, sitting in a corner with a dog, you know, and if you have a dog, like, the police won't bother you, right? Because then they have to call animal control and they can't be bothered. This guy is unemployed. He may be willfully unemployed, but he's unemployed. What about inside this fine tent establishment? This looks like a place of employment, doesn't it? Hello, clown. What's your job? Are you a clown? You look like a clown. So this guy runs a game. I mean, he looks like it. I don't want to play. I'm busy. I'm at work. Finally, somebody who's employed, for God's sake. Thank you so much, sir. Do you have any employees, or do you run this place all by yourself? Wow, this place is crazy. Look at all this weird art. 3 colorful children. They're just groupies. Not groupies, that's the wrong word. But they just love me because they love enumeration. They love the work I do. But because they're children, they do not count. Okay, I think that's everyone in East Castletown. Let's go to the South Road. Hello, sir. Who are you? This man is staring inside of the window of a young girl's house. Well, I don't know if she's young. I mean, she's relatively young. Younger than whoever this is. So the question we have to ask ourselves, is this a rich aristocrat who doesn't need a job? Or is this a peeping Tom bum? I think I gotta go with peeping Tom bum. There's no evidence that this person is, like, you know, buying stuff or even walking. All this person is doing is standing here. So even if they are rich, this guy needs a job. This guy's unemployed. Hello, Agatha. Have you brought a bug for Agatha's ball? I think I have, actually. The way I see it, there are 2 possibilities for Agatha. One, this is someone with an inheritance that's spending it collecting bugs. Or this is somebody operating under the grant of an educational institution and is using that to research bugs, in which case I would consider that employment. You know, she has the energy with what she does of one of those people who, like, the monarchy would send out into the world with a lot of money, like an aristocrat, and they would just go collect stuff and bring it back to, like, show. And those people would be considered employed. So I think, given that this is a monarchy, we know that Castletown it has a princess. She's probably on a grant from the monarchy. So I'm gonna go ahead and say she's employed. Let's see. Hello. Who are you? Wow, the fortunes in this place really are accurate. My fortune said if I stand in front of the shop, a man wanting to date me would come talk to me. What are you doing? What is it you're carrying there? Is that a purse? Are you shopping? It looks like some sort of purse. So most likely this person also qualifies as one of those rich aristocrats who just goes and spends a lot of money. Especially given the fact that she has enough money to stand in the middle of the night and wait for someone to come fall in love with her, you know? So she doesn't count. Just another lazy rich person who doesn't want to actually put in a hard day's work. Whoa. Hello, Fanati. This is quite a get-up, isn't it? I mean, you're renting a space. You charge money for your services? Yeah, you do. All right, well, if you charge money, you make money. Guess what, Fanati? The future for you says you are employed. All right, anybody else? Oh, look where we made it to. We made it to the market. Now, the market, currently, most of the people here are not actually present because it's the middle of the night. So we'll come back here during the day. Soldiers, I'm going to do all the soldiers at the end, kind of like we do for Skyrim. Let's see what's in this back alley, shall we? Ah, yes, there's a bar down here, like a speakeasy almost, right? Telma's Bar. You know what that means for Telma. Hello, Telma. Serving up some employment today, are we, Telma? Now, Telma, do you have anyone else who works here? Oh, my goodness, look who it is. This is the postman. The postman delivers letters to everyone in Hyrule, and my guess is that the postman works for the monarchy, right? That's almost certain. So let's just mark the postman down as employed while we're here. Now, what about you three? I know for a fact that you don't live in Castletown. The other two, I really have no idea. This guy's like a researcher who likes to learn about the sky, which probably puts him in the same camp as Agatha with the bugs, right? Like a nerd who gets grants from the monarchy to research things. That seems like something this monarchy is very interested in, which most monarchies always were, because the accumulation of knowledge kind of ends up being the accumulation of, you know, monopolizing power in a way. So I'm going to say he's employed. What about you? You look like some sort of engineer. I suppose it's entirely possible that all these people are just like part of a little cadre of people employed by the monarchy. But I think that still counts. I think this guy's probably still employed. That'd be my best guess. Now this guy, I've got some insider knowledge that this guy doesn't actually live in Castletown. He's from a different district. And usually I try not to use insider knowledge in counting for unemployment, you know? But in this case, I'm gonna do it, because if I don't, you guys are gonna yell at me and be like, he doesn't work here, or you idiot. I'm gonna say, listen, I'm at work. I'm trying to count people. I don't have time to know everyone's life story. We're just trying to get a reasonably accurate sense of the unemployment. It doesn't have to be perfect, for God's sake. Anyway, onwards. What do we got here? We got a child. We have a mother. And that kind of looks like a really elderly lady. She might be our first retiree, actually. That's fun. Oh my goodness, a bunch of cats. Any place with a bunch of cats hanging around is a sign that whoever lives there is probably not employed. Hello? Looks like we'll have to go in the secret way. Whoa, what do we have here? This is a wealthy individual. Are you human? Oh my God, he's alive. So this individual is clearly extremely wealthy, but the metric we talked about earlier, you know, not to get too into the weeds on our you know, qualifications and stuff, but the metric we talked about earlier is if you want to not be considered unemployed as a rich person, you have to be participating in the economy. You've got to be spending money, helping other people pay their wages or something, you know? That being said, up until 10 seconds ago, this guy couldn't even physically move his body, and he also is still mostly made of ore. And even though we assumed that this was self-inflicted due to his own greed, that still does kind of sound like a disability to me. So I think we're gonna not count him as unemployed. He's rich, so he should be participating, but given his full body paralysis until very recently, we're gonna consider that a sort of disability, so he gets a pass for now. But next time I come back here, I expect you to have a job, okay? All right, it's daytime now, so let's take a look at the market here. A couple of easy employments. Wow, look at this. Look at those lovely baguettes you're making. Congratulations on being an employed bread baker. And over here we got this gentleman with a very funny hat. So this guy runs a fruit stand. How nice. We've also got this person here, seems to be selling meat. Hello. We've also got this person over here selling some lovely flowers. Congratulations on your employment. How about you, sir? What are you selling? Oh, you're also a meat salesman. Thank you for your meat. We've also got a couple folks over here. This looks like a nice family business. Gentleman selling hot spring water. Now, it looks like his son is over here. Children don't count towards our employment statistics, but they also don't count as unemployed. Now, I think that's all the shop owners. What about all these random people standing around? It looks like all these people are just kind of shopping, which seems to be a running theme. This town seems to be divided between the people working the stores, and then most of the people are just here to consume. They're just consumers. Which, again, that does fit into the wider picture of Castletown just sort of being a town of aristocrats, like a 1% neighborhood in Hyrule. What about you three? You're a tour guide. Wow, that sounds like a job. And you other two folks are taking a tour. Does that mean you're not from here? You're just visiting from God knows where? All the other 0 towns in Hyrule? What's your three's five? Are you guys teens? Yeah, they kind of look like 3 teens just hanging out by the fountain at night, so I'm going to go ahead and say they don't count. I think that's it for people we can actually actively talk to. So what we're going to move on to now is a really quick count of the town guards. Now, funnily enough, one of the places there aren't any guards is outside the castle walls, which is very interesting. It's got to make you wonder if, you know, all the monsters are outside the walls, but they don't consider that a threat. So what is it inside the castle walls that the monarchy considers a threat? I'm just an objective outside observer. I don't know, but it could be the working class, perhaps. There are 5 town guards right here. There are 2 town guards up there. There's one right here, and there's one over here. There's one. There's 2. 2 more guards. One stationary guard here, another stationary guard there. What about these 2? I think one of these guards is probably one of the guards we counted, because it looks like they're walking from up there, and there was one of the chubby guards up there. So I think it's just 3 down here. 1 all the way over here. This guy's got to be new. So what is that? Is that it for guards? 14? Because there's no guards standing outside the walls, I don't think, which is kind of funny, actually. You'd think that's where you would need them. Which means our final task is to figure out how we're going to count all these people sprinting around with pots. Oh, boy. But let's get a population count first, shall we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 44, 45. All these people are probably people walking from the central district where we already were. So we're going to stop at about 45. We're saying there's about 45 non-talking characters to add to the population. So the first thing we'll do is try and do ages. So let me try and count all the children running around. 1, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12. All right, let's say 14. 14 children of the 45. It seems like a lot. But I guess they would be the people running around in the middle of the day, right? Now, let's see if we see any elderly people. 1 right there. 2, that guy's old. 3, she's walking real slow. 4, 5, 7, 9, 10. So that's what we're going with for elderly, 10. And now we just kind of have to do a sprint around and see if anyone seems employed or not. That's tough. I might just have to trust my gut, you know? I might just have to trust my gut for this one. And if I see someone that I feel is employed, I'm just going to click it. So here we go. Employed, 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 not employed, old. And that's it. So that's 14 kids, 10 retired people, 9 employed people. Add that together and you get what? 33? 45 minus 33 is 12. That means 12 of those people walking around are just rich people shopping. And with that fascinating exercise in counting large populations, our employment survey has come to an end. Stick around for the results of the survey as well as the conclusions that the Bureau of Labor Statistics is drawing about the economic situation in Castletown. The press conference will begin in 3, 2, 1, go. Hello folks, how are we all doing today? Welcome to the press conference regarding Castletown in the Lanairu province in Hyrule. Nothing logistical to report today, so let's get right into it. Total surface payroll employment for Castletown is at 41 persons and unemployment is at 6.8%, the Bureau of Labor Statistics reported today. Castletown is a large commercial settlement situated in the center of Hyrule, serving as both the merchant hub of the region and also the geographical liaison to the monarchy. Total population is estimated at 101, 26% of which is under working age, 63% are working age, and 11% are above working age or retired. This particular demographic balance, just in terms of its layout, is typical and ostensibly sustainable. However, the most salient and concerning observation the Bureau made during the survey period was that the number of working persons, 41, was outnumbered by the number of non-working persons. We have never seen this before. These non-working persons including children and the elderly, but also a large contingent of aristocratic shoppers and observers who contribute unidirectionally to the economy, right, in one direction. They spend, but they do not make money. Castletown's primary employers are the monarchy, guards and police, and independent merchants selling food, drinks, and other consumables brought in from the surrounding regions. This is not unusual for a sort of a mercantilist monarchy, but paired with the number of well-off non-working persons in the city, the lack of immediately accessible farmland, and the lack of immediately accessible farmland, the implication is that there is a wealth imbalance in the region, and that most of its resources are being poured into Castletown and its most premier denizens, rather than in fixing the decaying and out-of-date infrastructure in the surrounding provinces. This is a classic sort of structural layout, right? To see a lot of decay happening around a central hub, and then the hub gets all the money and gets all the fancy stuff, It doesn't always happen this way. In America, for example, it can go either way. A lot of cities are crumbling, and a lot of suburbs look great. In some cities, the cities are great on the inside, and then the suburbs and the rural areas have no money and are crumbling. So it can go either way. But it's sad to see it when it does happen. But either which way, plenty of economies persist under the weight of growing inequality like this. One of the main purposes of a local police force in cases like this is specifically to maintain the order of the economic system. And Castletown not only regularly showboats its functionally ineffectual police force, but doesn't even maintain the illusion that they serve any real protective purpose. Not a single guard is present outside the city walls, implying that the need for them was never earnestly external, like a military force would usually be used for. 6.8% put Castletown in second place on our list. We've got a good run of well-unemployed whatever, just behind the recent addition of Viridian City and Kanto. And of course, this data comes from a direct survey conducted by the Bureau over a single day. Who would have thought that Castletown would be doing simultaneously so good and so bad? Another thing I never would have thought of was that these videos would be so popular, but hey, there you go. If you're one of the people who likes these videos, which many people are, please leave a comment down below saying you liked it. That tells me that I'm making what you want to see, and that's what I want to do because I'm here to serve you. Did you know that the best thing you could do for me is to immediately watch another one of my videos? In about 5 seconds, there's going to be one popping up on the screen along with a song that I wrote, because that's what I include at the end of my videos. If you like the song, listen to it. If not, just click one of the videos. I will see you all next time. Thank you so much for watching. Support me on Patreon. Goodbye. Hey.
It's sad that all the girls are taken. Oh, it's sad. I guess I'll stay inside.